Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research, because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, I got one more to finish. That's Colonel Tanner, guys, and that's the sharing done, I hope. How are you guys? I wish I had some really good news to bring for you tonight, but unfortunately, what we're finding out there, guys, is not too much good info, really, when it comes to us people anyway. But we got some legend people out there, guys, so we can bring them in a minute. I'm going to have a bit of chat first, but so tomorrow we have the coroner's findings on Desi. They haven't even got Desi, but they've got a coroner finding on it. So this is going to be on the arrest and stuff like that. I say again, it'll be
You're a black screen.
I'm a black screen, am I?
Apparently.
Okay, apparently. Okay. Well, I'm here.
I can't see anything.
I am here. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, that's cool. Okay. So we got the Epstein distraction out there, guys. So what's coming in the background? What's happening? All right. We all know what goes on here. Okay. All this stuff's in the foreground. There's something in the background. There's something going to be coming out after the American people, whatever, the Westerners. Okay. So I guarantee you that one's coming. Australians' housing market. We don't cover much of this, guys, but eye-watering price rise in the housing next year, and they're going to bust the bubble, guys, right? The median house price in Sydney by the end of 2026 will be 1.9 million. So $2 million median. That's median. It's across the board. Guys, they're ramping up what they want to do, all by design, as we say again. And what have we seen in the parliament today? Well, what about Speakman, the Australian, New South Wales Liberal leader? All right. So he's gone, guys. Okay, why is he gone? And they even said it on the news on Channel 9 because the power brokers come in and told him that it was time for him to go. So who are we run by here? Again, the power brokers, guys. We had enough of this bullshit or what? Seriously. You know, they're saying on the news, the power brokers have told him. This is the guys there with the cat guys. All right. This is how it works. And then we got cops And it's just, we got cops out there, guys, that have, again, catching and sprayed an 87-year-old man. Well, wow, had a pipe in his hand. So you're telling me that a cop's not trained to be able to disarm an 87-year-old man that just happens to have a lump of pipe? If you took one in the forearm before you took it, what the hell? No, you'll spray him with caps. You cops are fucking cowards, man. Fucking cowards. You can't disarm a fucking 87-year-old man without using capsicum spray. What are you even doing in the job? What? I just don't understand. It just fucking does my head in. Anyway, we got some legends out there, like I said, and I've told you that you need to draw your line in the sand. Okay? And here's some a couple here. We're going to bring Charlene and Charlie in. All right, this gentleman here's lost his job, guys. Why? The digital ID already. All right, so we're all saying, it's going to be okay. We just won't do this. We won't do that. Well, that's cool. I agree. But we want to inform you of what's coming, and you draw a line in the sand and you stand your ground. So firstly, Charlie and Charlene, I'd like to congratulate you on actually having a line in the sand drawn, walking in to find out that the only way to keep your job is to wipe out the sand and get rid of your line, and you refuse to do it, bruh. Well done, man. I feel for you, but well done. This is what we all need to do, guys. So come on in, Charlie.
There you go, mate.
We're good. Well, we're not good.
Yep.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Yeah. Smoke and mirrors everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Tell me story,
Charlie.
Charlie.
I work at a mine near Billow. It was every 5 years you've got to do a medical, and my wife went to book me in, and you have to go through this new process called health. So my wife halfway through the on the phone and bugging me, Dad, you got to make a digital ID. So we said no, we're not going to do it. Anyway, then a lot happened, phone calls to Res Health and so forth, but we said, oh, well, I'll go and do my own medical. And I drove to Gladstone, paid for it all myself, and that still wasn't good enough. And from that, has got on and spoke to premiers, state, federal, ministers. There's about 15 thing of who we've talked to sort this, and no one can help. No one wants to help.
So Section 72,
Hang on.
Section 72 of the Act didn't apply, which says that it was optional?
No, there's exemptions to the Act, but they won't tell you where those exemptions, and they won't tell you why those exemptions even exist. Res Health and RSHQ both state that they are exempt from both federal and state legislation. And DCIV, which is to do with digital identity and companies, they have a policy as well and are exempt from those. So it's basically renewables except for health.
So you were forced into using Res Health to get the physical, and they wouldn't do it unless you had a digital ID.
Yes. Yeah.
That is just outrageous.
Res Health form, when you get halfway through, throws you to Queensland Digital ID through the Department of Transport and Main Roads. And when you talk to them, they can create a digital ID, but they can never delete a digital ID. They can pause it or they can make it inactive, but they don't have the to delete it because they don't have kind of authorisation. So the tie between transport and health is now being made in this arena. So they're using the coal miners because they know quite well that people are got wage, high rent, cost of living's going through, power bills. You're trying to run a small family. How are you supposed to survive? So they say to you, here, look, we've got something for you. It's a digital ID. We'll help you.
And another to bring that into more clarity, like we couldn't work out the difference, the correlation. What is main roads got to do with doing a digital ID to go and like open that up? Well, we talked to Wayne Glue, and he said, check your license. He's got a new license, and well, not luckily, but I have got a new license. I got it early on in the year. He said, check the back of your license, and that's, I don't know if you can see the back number there. That is now your digital ID number for your license. That's how they entrap that part of it.
But you didn't know, there was no disclosure about that. It just arrived with it. Like surprise digital ID.
Yeah.
Jeez. Their behaviour is just so outrageous, isn't it? So, Dave, have you
got audio there? Yeah, I think I have. This is just to drive transport in and out of the mine. You know what I mean? Like, look, guys, this is a perfect example of what we've been warning you about. Okay, and again, I want to congratulate these people. This guy's just give up his job, guys, and this is what we all need to do. All right, do not let the beast dictate to you. Now, I know that's going to mean some harsh decisions, but if we all made those harsh decisions together, you know what I mean? I'm sure that we can make the point, guys. But so, okay, so you're stumped. You lost your job because you wouldn't do the digital ID. You still got a license, I presume. Your license, okay.
I haven't quite lost my job. I've been on what they call stand down until I sort my medical out. But
like they do with the pedophile cops, yeah, leave them on pay and that. So you on pay and stuff like that?
No. I've got it. I have saved up about 400 odd hours, which is 2.5 months of my holidays. So I'm chewing into them. But
what?
No.
Why? You know, I mean, okay, I understand what you're doing, but why should you have to dig into your holidays because you don't want to accept something that, you know, you don't want to accept?
No,
I mean, this is just, yeah.
It makes no sense, though, because essentially, as I said, the Coal Mining Act states that to be on site to work, you must have a current coal board medical. Now, the current coal board medical's been supplied, it's been paid for. So, in effect, they're keeping us out by using blackmail and saying, well, you can't have your job unless you do what we tell you to do, when we tell you to do it, and how we tell you to do it. They are threatening a livelihood. They're harassing us by saying there's no other way out for you and closing every door that we try and open to find an answer. And the intimidation's just been stupid. I had a woman from Res Health tell me that she wasn't wasting her time arguing with me, and I just had to shut up, and she told me to do it. So that's what went down.
I wonder if this could come under one of the things that Jackie's got going. You know what I mean? Maybe we could get some help there and, push one of those things. We'll have to maybe put them together and see what they think. You know what I mean? But this might be a perfect occasion, you know?
I think so. Yeah, no. Let's send Jackie the show after the show and just basically see what she thinks. So, look, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got terrible audio, Dave. You're horrendous. Charlene and Charlie are only just getting by. I think I'm all right. So, audience, can you let us know if I'm okay? Have you got anything further to add, guys, before we move on to the news?
As I said, we went to the Premier, and to my surprise, apparently the Premier doesn't work for all the Queenslanders. He only works for the veterans. So I did ask as to why he continues to draw a wage to represent the rest of us. The digital ID regulator has no authority over this. SafeWorks.
That's the one I found astounding, is the digital ID person, the person who's responsible for the area of the digital ID, and she has no jurisdiction. Like, how is that possible?
Because she says that Section 74 of the Act doesn't apply to Res Health. or to RSHQ.
So who are they protecting?
It's
well, who owns Res Health then? That would be my question.
It's all RSHQ owns Res Health. Res Health is the working arm of RSHQ, and RSHQ is controlled by the Queensland Government Health Department.
Oh, so it's going around a circle then. So it's lovely how they do that.
Wants to give you any answers, and they just tag your issues after you now.
Something to do with Freemasons, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, of course it is. All right, that's good. All right, thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. Can you please keep us updated with how it goes? And
we'll talk soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Thanks.
And thanks again, guys. Thanks again for
Thank
standing
you.
up and standing on your line. Well done, Charlie. Well done, Charlene. Let's talk soon, guys.
Yep, thank you. All right. All right, so we got heaps of news. But first of all, let's have a look at this. Candace, what's going on with you? So Candace Owens may have committed fraud on her Australian fans because she hasn't refunded her tickets. So these people here are owed $500. The promoter emails do not get a response. So very interesting.
Turning Point, was it? She was involved with Turning Point or what?
She was, but no, Turning Point, I don't believe, are putting this on. So very interesting because might have said that kind of like a little bit of deja vu here. Now, one of the things that you just answered, you just talked about then was the cops. Well, look at this. We've got a Albury policeman facing child abuse materials and bestiality material, claims he has become an involuntary patient in Albury's patients' mental health unit. So very interesting there. He's charged with possessing or controlling child abuse material using a carriage service and possessing bestiality. Like,
animal.
Another cop. How many times do we have this on? Like, it's unreal. It is so bad. But what the good part about it is, if there is any good, is that at least it's coming out in the open now. And another thing that's coming.
I always wonder whether these Freemason cops actually induce these guys in, get them blackmail or something, get them involved, you know what I mean? And then they've got them. You know what I mean? And then they can just throw them under the bus one by one that they need to, Caz. You know what I mean?
Look, we're doing something. Look, here's Wade today, and he is at the banning the access for transmission code in Victoria. That these people are facing $12,000 fines for not allowing transcript access. Have a look at this.
Battalion. We're here at Gardeners Road in Glenloth East, where we're seeing VicGrid coming up to see some of the landholders here. Hang on.
Hey, roving reporter.
Yeah.
Get into him, Wade.
We are going to. We need to do surveys on this property. And I don't
Get out.
Please move out of the way to allow us access onto the property.
No,
We
access is denied.
we have the right under Section 93 of the Electricity Industry Act to enter this property. So I'll again ask you, could you please move out of the way and allow us access?
Make it famous, Wade.
Where's your ID? It's pretty clear. Yep, sure. Sure. I'm from Morwell, mate.
No, your address though. I want your actual address.
And why would you want to come to my address?
Why do you want to come to ours?
Because I'm doing a job.
No, you want to come and get another job.
Get a real job, you wank.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
All right, so it looks like there's a standoff there. Go, you farmers. That's all I can say.
Go, you farmers. Hey, anyone around that area, get out there, back up Wade, back up those farmers, all right? Let's make a noise, guys. All right, this is the people we got to be helping, okay? We have to be helping.
That's it. Because here we have the machete bin is working so well in Melbourne.
In Melbourne's southeast has been caught up in a chilling encounter with balaclava-clad thugs. They say teens armed with machetes are menacing their neighbourhood and even threatened to kill a father of two.
A family of four suddenly face to face with a machete being waved outside their home. And a neighbour so worried, he armed himself with a hammer, then jumped a side fence to escape to safety.
Oh, it's scary. I didn't know what to do.
Sunday afternoon in the Orana estate in Clyde.
So you have that. You also have this 11-year-old child's letter to their local MP about the situation.
By my office today by an 11-year-old. I won't use her full name or give her full address for her own safety. To Mr Leary, I'm 11 years old. I live at an address in Lockyer. I live here with my 9-year-old sister who has autism and behavioural disabilities, my mother and my 73-year-old grandmother who has 2 types of dementia. About 18 months ago we got new neighbours who rent from Homes West, and they have been very disruptive and dangerous. These are some of the things that have happened in that time. One of the first things that happened is we thought someone was being kidnapped. My mum had to call 000 because a lady broke the window with her feet and screamed for help. We were so scared. And from where we were terrified, and not long after there was a machete attack on Australia Day. I saw the man with the machete and now find it hard to sleep. Recently, there have been needles on the ground that were dropped from the people coming out of that house. We are no longer able to play out the front because it isn't safe to be out there by ourselves anymore. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night to screaming and can't get back to sleep. We've also woken up to blood everywhere on the street. Police said someone was stabbed. I am now seeing a psychologist for all the things and about to start anxiety medication.
11 years old.
That's exactly what they want, guys. I hate to say it, but what happened to football, pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars? Like, what happened, guys? What in the friggin' hell happened? These are people in their own fucking house that cannot even sleep. You know, this is like, I know a lot of people are moving out of Melbourne. I know a lot of people are moving out of Australia. There's a lot of people exiting Sydney, guys. A lot of people. All right, they're more, you know, got a little bit of bucks and, you know what I mean? But they're going. They're just going to live their life in another country where their money's, you know, tripled or quadrupled, and they can live easy. But they're going. They are going. It says a lot. This is the luckiest country in the world, guys.
It is, and they have just done absolute, like, these people are absolute criminals for what they've done to this country. Look, here's another thing that's really important, guys. If we can't save these babies, there's no way God's going to bless us. You know, I think that this is the most important thing. So this is, I'm going to pop this in. It's already got 16,000 signatures. So she's Dr. Joanne Howe. She's demanding justice for the 79 healthy, viable babies that were terminated. And she's attacking it from all angles. And I think just basically go her, because this to me is the most important thing, because this is to me on a spiritual level how they're taking us so fast down this route. This is how we turn it back. If we can't protect these babies, we cannot count on God's blessing. But if we can turn this one around, we can count on God's blessing for the rest of it.
God made
love
it
to sacrifice
God made it very, very clear, guys. All right, you are better off with a heavy millstone around your neck, be thrown into the deepest ocean if you touch his little ones. Well, I just hope you got a good stock of millstones, Lord. And if you want me to go out back and start making millstones, I'd be happy to do that. So I'm telling you, guys, a lot of people have got a lot to answer for, and you know, anyway. This is just, and you're right, Caz. We can't save the children, mate, you know. Like, and it's different. You know, I had kids, you know, and that was different. Okay, you know, my kids around the 90s and that, right, just after, and that was a different thing. But I got grandkids now. I got grandkids, and I know what the world is trying to do, you know, to those grandkids. It's just not right, man. You know, like, yeah, I got daughters that are, you know, have to go to stand up, you know what I mean? But man, it's difficult, guys. It's difficult for everybody because they are doing exactly what they just done to Charlie and Charlie, mate. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a rat's ass, guys, as long as they get what they want. And the only way they can get what they want is if you conform to it.
Well, that's it. But look, you've got a lot of people who are standing up. You've got this girl. She's just found out that they're using her image for the TikTok ad for digital ID, and she's basically come out swinging.
To push the government ID agenda, and unfortunately for them, I'm rogue, and when I find out more information and I'm wrong, I'm willing to say it. So I think the government ID is a load of shit and we should not go ahead with it. I apologize 100%, but I think it's really important, since they're using my face to push this ID, that I say, don't do it. Do not do it. When I see England pushing it for a different reason, it's sus as fuck. And I'm really angry because they used a Trojan horse of the safety of children and teenagers on the internet and their developing brains and protecting them, when I should have known better, because the government have been known to institutionally protect pedophiles. So I don't know what fucking planet I was on during that little mind snap. But yeah, I just want to say fuck you guys, and the government ID is a load of shit.
Good on her.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if anyone out there can come up with a machine that'll, you know, like cordial in the middle, we're going to cut out millstones, guys. So let's get on it. You know, we're going to need a lot of millstones, I'm telling you. They've hurt a lot of kids. There's a lot of people to go down here, guys. So, yeah, thanks, Charlie. I'll be with you, brother. Just a bit of satirical stuff there, guys.
We have the like, look, we've just got it's like they've just gone crazy. Like, you know, you've got this situation with the forests.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you've had a fantastic start to your day. Check this out. New South Wales State Forest closed as land ownership is transferred to an Aboriginal group. This is on Sky News Australia with the Bolt report. Now, you want to talk about stealing land? Let's take a listen.
It just keeps marching along. But how is this making Australia better, more united? This time, New South Wales State Forest, the Bungabi State Forest, about 950 hectares.
We'll leave it there because his audio is really bad and we're struggling enough with terrible audio tonight. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that they're doing. It's just like, they're just outrageous, their behaviour at the moment.
Look, it is outrageous, and it's very damaging. You know, you've got to try and like reverse what these wankers are doing, you know what I mean? And every step we let them go further forward, guys, you know. Come on, it's a grand final, man. Come on, we've talked about this. You know, I thought I was a better coach than this, but anyway.
Look, there's one of the things that I didn't realise is this.
Yeah. Certainly, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I didn't realise is Australia's radical trans clinics are actually worse. Have a look at this.
Clinics are worse, much worse.
Worse.
There's much worse happening in your clinics. You're doing it to many more people. You're still doing it. You're doing it younger.
When you can see that I'm genuinely amazed by that.
Oh no, they're doing much worse here. I promise you, and they're still doing it. We don't give puberty blockers in the UK at all anymore.
No,
they're unlawful.
Both sides of politics.
They're simply unlawful, including privately. You cannot get a prescription of puberty blockers in the UK for gender medicine. End of story.
Not for the first time, I have to say, what has happened in my own country that has made us so complacent and so willing to turn a blind eye to things that are really going to bite us.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? So there's so many complacent things.
You think there's a lot of creepy crawlies in Australia that can bite and kill you, mate? They got nothing on our government, guys. This fake corporation. It is deadly. Absolutely deadly. Every arm of it. Sorry about the brown snakes and the friggin' funnel and the redbacks and the rest of the bullshit, the taipans and that. You look out for a politician because I know you're quick smart.
Yeah. Look, we've got this situation as well. Topher outlines it really well. It's the climate change is now human against human rights. But listen to the arguments. Oh my God.
Is saying that if you exercise your human right to freedom of speech in a way that expresses skepticism about climate change, then you are now a human rights violator. But it gets even better. In an act of breathtaking arrogance, the Australian Human Rights Commissioner has tried to claim that allowing people to actually debate climate change would violate other people's human right to free expression and participation in public affairs. As cited in this Australian article, in a submission to the Senate committee, the AHRC told Labor, false narratives on climate change distort public understanding, erode trust in science and institutions, and delay urgent climate action. Misinformation and disinformation undermine not only the human right to a clean, healthy and sustainable environment, but also rights to free expression and participation in public affairs, the Commission said. The watchdog said misinformation and disinformation had a negative impact on informed public debate and environmental advocacy. Did you catch that? If you exercise your free speech in a non-approved manner, then you're a threat to free speech, so we should take away your free speech.
It's just
the hypocrisy of it all.
Well, and you've got T-Man in the United States openly declaring talking about the climate scam this, the climate scam that. And in Australia, we've got our government just in lockstep going in the complete opposite direction against the will of the Australian people.
You want me to say something there? Yeah. Okay. I thought you were bringing a clip.
Guys,
Sorry.
can you just let me know
well,
if Dave's breaking up really bad for me. It's really bad.
Okay.
Can you let me know if Dave's breaking up really bad for you? Because we just don't know.
All right. So Julie Inman Grant is the great thing here, and Mel made the comment, and she, the comment was, "Oh, but what about Australia, guys?" A lot of people would have made that comment. Okay. Oh yeah, but okay, we've got Julie Inman Grant. All right, being publicly called a zealot. All right, being requested to the United States within 48 hours, guys. That means that someone's looking at Australia or something's looking at Australia, and we got to see what we can get out of that and, how we read that, So that'll be very interesting when Julie Inman Grant gets over there, and actually has to face the music guys. I'm very interested in what's going to go on. But in the meantime, they're going ballistic over here, doing what they have to do to tie in as many people as they can into their system. It's clear now.
No, he's clear now for me as well. I don't know what's going on. It's just shocking. They're just trying to mess with us. Actually, here we have that video clip as well.
And by Sky News, Julie Inman Grant is accused of being a, quote, zealot and directly threatening America's free speech.
Julie Inman Grant has been given 2 weeks to appear before US Congress to give evidence about how Australia's laws are threatening the free speech of American citizens. A letter from the House of Representatives Committee of the Judiciary, signed by Chairman, Republican Congressman and close Trump ally Jim Jordan, claims the US-born e-safety commissioner's expansive interpretation and enforcement of Australia's Online Safety Act directly threatens American speech. The letter accuses Ms. Inman Grant of being a noted zealot for global takedowns and cites her attempt last year to compel X to remove content globally. X-founder Elon Musk called her the censorship commissar. The letter from Congress also accuses the e-safety boss of working with US-based organizations and universities to facilitate and encourage cooperation with foreign censorship regimes.
Ooh.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. And it was 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm getting all animated and all up in the area, guys. I was thinking 2 days, but it was 2 weeks she was given to get over there, get her ass into gear, and yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. And you also have this situation as well because here we go. Here's the lobbyist group again. So the move is the reaction to the protest against the Jewish. So the New South Wales Premier introduces Nazi ideology and conduct ban. Like ideology, conduct, like that is just the most vaguest thing. And that's with relation to this. Now, I actually agree with Craig Kelly here. He's actually said with the dramatic scenes that the South African neo-Nazi is raided by Border Force agents at 4 a.m. and shipped off to a detention centre. Now, I said that his wife was Australian. She's not Australian. She's also South African. But the baby is born in Australia, so therefore I'm pretty sure they have an entitlement to Australian citizenship. Craig Kelly has put, if you deport a bloke for attending a peaceful political rally that was approved by the police because it's objectionable, and apply a complete double standard to other protests, you are simply going to create sympathy and support for the neo-Nazis. Yes. Yes.
And the government will probably try, you know, or it wouldn't surprise me if the government tried to actually claim the baby. The satanic,
wouldn't surprise me either.
because the baby's Australian and they're South African. So, hey, guess what? By rights, they think that they own the kid because the kid's registered here to our fake corporation.
That's yeah. Look, it wouldn't surprise me that they're just up to no good anyway. You know, and you've got the situation as well. Vignano has put out this thing with regards to, I think this is with regards to Fulmec.
A dangerous subversive elite has managed to infiltrate the highest levels of Western institutions and governments to implement the criminal plan of the Agenda 2030. In many self-proclaimed democratic states, the voices denouncing this global coup are being silenced through censorship, intimidation, psychiatrization, and even arrest. Among the victims of the totalitarian regime quietly establishing itself in Europe, Canada, Australia, and other vassal nations of the United Nations, NATO, World Health Organization, and World Economic Forum, all private entities funded by the same powers, is lawyer Rainer Fulmich, unjustly imprisoned and still awaiting for a fair trial. His crime is having dared to speak the truth in a world of criminal lies. I call on Catholics and all people of goodwill to raise their voices in defense of those persecuted by the globalist regime. It is not Attorney Fulmich who should be in prison, but those who committed the greatest crime ever against humanity: Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Ursula von der Leyen, Albert Bourla, and all their accomplices and emissaries, especially those in institutional positions.
Wow.
God bless him.
Because, God bless him, exactly right. Now, this is something that we don't often hear a lot about in history, but it's actually it's something that I didn't know about until a few years ago, and it's worthwhile knowing because they always try to hide the truth from us, and it's the story of the Maori versus the Maori in 1853.
Did arrive here. What happened?
Well, our people welcomed them. They were in a very bad state from coming off the ship, which they come down from Wellington. And our people helped them ashore, assisted them to regain their strength.
And what happened next?
The Maori way was to walk the land and take it over by conquest, which they did. Right.
And at that point, the Moriori had to make a decision about what they were going to do.
Yes, and they gathered here to whether they were going to take up arms after all those years, whether they were going to stay as they were. They decided to stay as they were.
And there followed a fairly rough period for the Moriori.
Yes, to say the least, yes. They were slaughtered, enough were killed to meet the custom of those days for Maori, and then they were enslaved, forbidden to breed, if you like to put it, and they fished for their masters, done everything for their masters at that time.
Has this been resolved? Do the Moriori feel today that they were actually conquered here?
No, the Moriori have never given up that the land was taken away from them unfairly. And we have a claim with the Waitangi Tribunal on that.
Are you reasonably confident that the Moriori will establish their own individual claim and that things will go ahead on that basis?
If it's left up to those descendants, we intend doing just that.
Now, that guy looks Maori. However, the Moriori that I have seen are blondes, native blondes, with tanning skin and brown eyes. They have a very unusual history. They say that they are from Egypt. They describe the area that they came. They basically sailed east and they came across New Zealand and they settled there. So that guy, I'd say, would have a bit of Maori in him, Maori and Moriori. But it's very interesting because when the Maori arrived there, they killed the Moriori, pretty much killed all of the Moriori and enslaved them all. So it's pretty, it's a fascinating history, and it's certainly one thing that has been left out of the history books. So it's fascinating.
Isn't it? How much has been left out of their Caz, eh? They just redesigned that for us, mate.
Well, they certainly did. And look, there's a heap of other things, but I think we'll just leave it at that because we're struggling with the sound tonight. So, Dave, if you would like to wrap up the show, and we're going out to Footballs, Meat Pies, Kangaroos and Holden Cars. So if you would like to close the show and wrap it up, then I shall hit play.
Oh, that's classic. All right, so we need a designer for a millstone cutter. Plenty of sandstone up there, guys. So sandstone's probably a bit light. Anyway, it's a soft one to cut. All right, so anyway, on a serious note, to the Australian Police Force, the Australian Securities, you know, all you guys that are walking around with guns on your fucking hips, all right, doing a few things, but I mean, all you're doing at the moment is just giving us a few little wins for us, guys, that we think are psychological wins. You know, that's your idea, okay? You know, you're staging shit everywhere now on the mainstream media. You're trying to take the narrative that it's not, you know, they don't want you on the street, guys. This is all getting you prepared to be stuck inside a 15-minute city. You know, and most of the rednecks out, so I can use that term, most of the, you know, the sleepwalkers out there, guys, would be very happy to run back into their cage where they have got 24-hour, you know, camera systems going to look after them. And, you know, and this is what they're portraying, guys, right? They're creating and building all this to then, what? Here's the solution, guys. We just flick it out the back line to you. Guys, we had 2 people on the show tonight, all right, that have stood up, lost their job. We all need to do it. I didn't say you, sorry about that. We all need to do exactly the same thing, all right? We need to draw a line in the sand. At the moment, that line in the sand should be, yeah, no digital ID, but also no Coles, no Woolies, no corporations, all cash. Okay? No Ubers, no this, no that. All right? How are we going with it, guys? I don't really know.
No IGA, no Aldis.
No IGA, no Aldis. Exactly right. Get to your farmers markets. Get your cash out of your pocket. Just think how far they could bring their prices down for us, guys, if we actually went and made sure that we bought all our stuff off our local farmers market and all the cash was going to them and they're making a fortune. And then because they're the type of people they are, they could actually put their prices down because they'd be selling more stock for more cash. You know, it's up to us to kick it off, guys. All right, but without us, you know, this whole thing, without us, the elites can't function. Without the elites, we can function. But without us, we're the ones. We're pedaling the push bike like the mice on the little wheel. And we're just keeping them in the game, guys. So let's get the word out there. Let's do the letterbox drops. Let's just wake the place up, eh? I'm sick of babies being killed. I love seeing you people every night, but geez, I got some other stuff to do in life too, guys. I'd love this to be over so we could all get on with it. But until we all come together and do it, we're here. So see you tomorrow night, folks. Cheers.
Australia, what's your favorite sport? Football.
Snack?
Pies.
Animal?
Kangaroo.
And what's your favourite car, Australia?
Holden.
Let me see, that's football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars, huh?
Right.
Well, you sure sound like Australia to me.
We are.
Well, then you better tell me again, because I just might forget.
We love football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars. Football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars.
That's football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars.
Football and meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars.
I think you better tell me again.
We love football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars.
In case you're wondering, this film is brought to you by football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Australia's own car.
They go together underneath the southern stars. Football.